In this video, we'll discuss the input programming for an eFlex relay panel. The Input Banks tab displays the user interface for programming the occupancy, daylight, contact closure, and CapT wall station input configuration settings for the eFlex relay panel. On the relay panel, each input type and its terminal block is grouped into a bank of inputs, input 1 through 4. Each bank has one of each type of input: occupancy, daylight, contact closure, and CapT. On the left side of the Input Banks tab is the list selection for input type or input bank. And in the center is a list selection for the actual inputs to edit. On the right side is an interface for the actual input settings that are selected and the zone control assignment for the selected input. The inputs can be displayed and selected by input type, or by input bank. By input type, you select the input type first, and then select one of the 4 inputs of that type associated with an input bank from the inputs list. By input bank, you select the bank first, and then select any of the inputs that for that bank from the inputs list: occupancy, daylight, contact closure, or CapT. The input settings interface on the right changes depending on the input type selected. It offers a drop-down list entries for mode, polarity, occupied preset, or unoccupied preset. These entries change depending on the type of input that's selected. Each input is assigned zones that will be controlled by actions on that input. If the action is recalling a preset, note that the preset memories are as wide as the zone count of the relay panel, but only the zone levels in the preset of the assigned zones are recalled. So on the far right, you see the assigned zone selection, and you just simply use the checkboxes to select which zones will be controlled by the actions on that input. Occupancy input settings include mode, polarity, occupied preset, and unoccupied preset. Again, checkboxes are also provided to assign which zones will be controlled by these occupancy sensor inputs. Use the mode drop-down list to select either occupancy or vacancy mode of operation. In occupancy mode, the system automatically turns lights on when the occupancy sensor input detects the presence of a person and will automatically turn lights off when no presence is detected for a specified amount of time. In vacancy mode, the lights must be turned on manually by someone entering a room or area using a control station or some other input. The system will then automatically turn lights off when no presence is detected on the occupancy sensor input for a specified amount of time at the sensor. Use the polarity drop-down list to choose either active high or active low sensor types. Note, in addition to the polarity settings, a dip switch, switch SW2 on the relay panel circuit board, must be set to on for active low, off for active high. Please see the eFlex installation user manual for more information. The relay panel provides presets 1 through 16 and off. Use the Occupy preset drop-down list to select a preset 1 through 16 to activate when the occupancy sensor detects a person in the room. Preset memories are as wide as the zone count of the relay panel, but only the zones assigned to the input will be recalled from that preset memory. Use the unoccupied preset drop-down list to select a preset 1 through 16 and off to activate when the occupancy sensor no longer detects activity in the room. Typically, this is set to off. Preset memories again are as wide as the zone count of the relay panel, but only zones assigned to the input will be recalled from the preset. A list of all the zones that can be controlled by the selected occupancy input is displayed with a checkbox and the name of the zone to the right of the checkbox. To assign zones, check the box next to the zone name. To exclude a zone, uncheck the box. Again, only assigned zones will be affected by the activity on the selected input. Preset memories are as wide as the zone count of the relay panel. If you're recalling a preset, only the zone levels in the preset of the assigned zones are recalled. So in this case, only zones 1 and 3 of the presets will be recalled on any activity from occupancy sensor input number 1. Daylight input settings include polarity and assigned zone. Use the polarity drop-down list to choose either active high or active low sensor types. It's equivalent to syncing or sourcing daylight sensor types. Note, in addition to the polarity settings, dip switch SW1 on the relay panel circuit board must be set to on for active low, off for active high. Please see the eFlex installation and user manual for more information. A list of all the zones that can be controlled by the selected daylight sensor input is displayed with a checkbox and the name of the zone to the right of the checkbox. Note, only one daylight sensor per zone, so zones assigned to another daylight sensor will be grayed out and unavailable until they are unassigned from the other daylight input. So if we run through daylight 1, 2, 3, we can see each selected and the other zones grayed out. To assign zones, check the box next to the zone name, and to exclude or unassign it, uncheck the box. So if we uncheck pendant, we can go back to day 1, and we can now check pendant and include that to be controlled by daylight sensor input number 1. Contact closure input settings includes mode, polarity, and response preset, and assigned zones. Contact closure inputs can be programmed for momentary or maintain input signals, as well as normally open or normally closed input polarity. Use the drop-down list to select one of the 4 operation modes available for contact closure inputs. 4 options are provided. Momentary, toggle assigned zones between preset and off. Momentary, turn assigned zones to response preset. Option 3, maintained, toggle assigned zones between response preset and off. 4, maintained, closure turns on assigned zones to response preset and open to off. Use the polarity drop-down list to select either normally open or normally closed contact closure inputs. The relay panel provides presets 1 through 16 and off. Use the response preset drop-down list to select a preset 1 through 16 to activate when contact closure is active. The off preset can only be selected for mode option 2. Preset memories are as wide as the zone count of the relay panel. Only zones assigned to the input will be recalled from preset memory. A list of all the zones that can be controlled by the selected contact closure input is displayed with a checkbox and the name of the zone to the right of the checkbox. To assign zones to the input, click the checkbox. To exclude zones, uncheck the box. Only zones assigned will be affected by the activity on the selected input. CapT input settings includes the favorite preset and assigned zones. The drop-down list for the 5-button favorite preset is the preset that is selected for a 5-button CapT station, which has on-off, raise lower, and a center button to recall this preset. Use this drop-down list to select which preset is recalled, pressing that center button on that station. Their configuration is the assigned zones, and we can check, uncheck which zones will be included in the preset that is recalled from this input station. It is possible with CapT stations to actually assign the same zones to more than one station. Either station would then recall presets for the same zones. This can be used in a situation where there is wall stations on 2 entries, say, to the same room.